They say the quietest moments are the most dangerous. Not the silence of an empty room, but the silence that happens between things. The silence between a heartbeat. The silence between a breath. And the most dangerous of all, the silence between sleep and waking. I first noticed it on a Tuesday. I was drifting. That heavy-limbed state where the world starts to blur. I wasn't asleep, but I wasn't quite awake either. I was in the in-between. And then the silence changed. It didn't just feel like a lack of sound. It felt like a weight, a thick, suffocating pressure pressing against my eardrums. I tried to roll over, but my body didn't belong to me anymore. My muscles were lead. My breath was a shallow, jagged thing I couldn't control. That's when I heard it. Not a voice, but a vibration at the base of my skull. It whispered a name. Not my name, but the name of the thing currently standing in the corner of my room. A name that sounded like grinding teeth and dead leaves. I couldn't open my eyes, but I could see. My eyelids felt like thin paper, and through them, I saw a shadow. It wasn't a person. It was a tear in the fabric of the room. It was darker than the dark, and it was moving toward the bed with a slow, jerky motion, like a film skipping frames. It stopped at the edge of my bed. I felt the mattress deep, not the heavy sink of a person, but the needle-thin pressure of something sharp. Something that didn't have mass, only intent. I leaned it down. I could feel the cold. It wasn't just chilly. It was the kind of cold that steals the heat from your very soul. And then it spoke into the silence. "You're too loud," it hissed. I snapped awake. My chest was heaving, and my room was flooded with morning light. I laughed. A dry, shaky sound. It was just sleep paralysis, a trick of the brain. The in-between was gone. I reached over to my nightstand to grab my phone, wanting to see how late I had slept. But my hand stopped mid-air. The clock on my phone said 3:14 a.m. I looked at the clock on my wall. 3:14 a.m. I looked at the window. The sunlight wasn't moving. The dust motes in the air were frozen, suspended like tiny grass shards. There was no wind, no distant traffic, no hum of the refrigerator. The silence wasn't gone. It had just gotten bigger. That's when I realized I hadn't woken up. I had just stopped fighting. The weight on the edge of the bed, it wasn't pressing down anymore. It was leaning over me. I could feel a cold, dry breath, like the air from a tomb brushing against the back of my neck. I can't turn my head. I can't scream, but I can see my own reflection in the darkest screen of my phone. And behind me is the reflection. There is a hand reaching out, not for my throat. It's reaching for my eyes. If you are listening to this, check your clock. Is the second hand still moving?